Hey everybody, it is Natalie from Power Moon Tarot. Welcome to your reading. Today's reading is a pick a bird reading, and we have 3 birds that we have here today. We have pile number 1 represented by the raven. If you're feeling pile number 1, you'll choose the raven. For pile number 2, we have the peacocks. If you're feeling the energy of the peacock, you'll choose pile number 2. And for pile number 3, we have hawk. If you're feeling the hawk spirit, you'll choose hawk. And today I'm going to be getting some channeled messages for you for right now in your life regarding where you're at. And hopefully we're going to soar high, my friends. And let's take a deep breath. Get into the reading. You can go to the description box below to find timestamps to each pile. Thank you for being here today. And we're going to go ahead and start with pile number 1. Pile number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the raven, and today's reading is a pick a bird reading. We're getting channeled messages for right now from the raven spirit. And pile number 1, there's power in your wisdom and your words. And you connect with elemental spirits that help you glide through the void. There certainly is a big void happening right now in our world. That is for sure, with all the changes that we're experiencing. We looked into the abyss and the abyss looked back. And let's go ahead and get some messages here. As we know, the ravens are very much associated with the shamans. Really drawing in that energy for you right now, pile number 1. To see what messages are going to come through regarding the ravens. We have Ace of Wands. We have King of Swords. And we have Queen of Swords. Interesting. Well, first of all, we have a lot of new opportunities for you that we really need to be sharp. Okay. And actually, it kind of represents what's happening on this card here. We have 2 ravens, and, one is facing to the left, one's facing to the right. And we have the King of Swords looking to the left and the Queen of Swords looking to the right. Okay. And we may have some stubborn personalities right now who both think they have the right idea of which way to go or how to say things, how to do things. Okay. But as far as what I said earlier, there's power in your wisdom and your words. Okay. There's power in your wisdom and your words. And definitely with King of Swords and Queen of Swords, we find that ability to enunciate and be very clear with what we're saying. And some people, pile number 1, you're going to have to take a softer approach with. And other people you're going to be more maybe cold and direct with. Okay. Depends on the type of situation. Depends on the type of person it is. Okay. But let's go ahead and see what else we have going on here. We have the fire element and desire. That's coming out under the Ace of Wands. Now, who are we fooling ourselves here? Do we have a crush going on? Do we have an attraction going on? Do we have a meeting of the minds or crush happening between 2 people who are too proud to admit it, who are waiting for the other person to make the first move or say the first thing? Okay. Some people can have really stubborn and old-fashioned beliefs about who should make the first move, depending. Okay. that where there's a will, there's a way, right? Pile number one, where there's a will, there's a way. And I mean, I'd be a fool not to mention the fact that these two are quite the pair. Okay. There's a lot of common, it's like common sense, right? If you look at another person and you go, wow, we sure have a lot in common. Wow, we sure kind of think the same way. Wow, we sure have a lot that, you know, we both kind of are similar minded people. And it kind of makes sense. Scratching head, it kind of makes sense. Should we talk? Should we light this match? Should we start this? Okay. And we have here, we have the fifth house in creativity. Wow, I love this. And the fifth house, definitely talking about fire, desire, strong sexuality. Okay. Somebody has a very strong sexuality, but it's mental, I feel. Pile number one, it's very mental. And they don't like drama, I feel. They're one of those people that doesn't like drama. And I feel like you're like, I don't really do drama either. All right. Now, if Harry Potter were to sort you two into different houses, I feel either both of you would go into Ravenclaw or both of you would go into Gryffindor. I don't know why that just came to me, pile number one. It's totally out of context. I have no idea. A lot of people like to play games or do things that have fun, creative things having to do with Harry Potter. So that's a very fifth house activity. And sometimes when you're talking about movies or culture or like cultural references or things that you both understand. And it's like, oh yeah, that's so funny. I totally get it. And it's kind of like you look at each other and you kind of share a laugh with each other. And it's kind of like one of those quiet laughs. And then it's like, okay, pretend not to look each other type of thing. And it's like, okay, but I don't want any drama. And then the other person's like, I don't do drama either. All right. But the fifth house is kind of the house of theatrical dramas. So that's interesting. We have Ygritte and freedom. Okay. Now each pile tonight is getting a Game of Thrones in truly nerdy fashion. Each pile is getting a Game of Thrones or House of Dragon woman to go with their reading. And Ygritte, boy, she was cute. She was in Game of Thrones. I remember her. I think she was with, wasn't she with James Stark or whatever his name was for a while, who was really a Targaryen? Anyway, I don't want to give up the story, but I'm going to read her a little bit about her for you guys. And it says, freedom. Society and the powerful people that run it put all sorts of negative ideas into our heads to keep us small and easily controlled. Right now, you're being called to remember who you were before you internalized all those rules. Yeah, society has a very cultish way of thinking. Okay, society has been, especially over the last couple of years, has been a very cult-like. And when I say cult, I mean C-U-L-T, cult-like way of thinking. And right now you are being called to remember who the F you are, pile number one, before you internalized all these quote-unquote rules, right? Whose rules are they anyway? And freedom is your right. Commit to doing one act, even a small one, that reminds you that your destiny is yours alone to control. Okay? And, you know, for sometimes people who say, I don't like drama or I don't do drama, like, they're like, that's a red flag. People that say that always are creating a lot of drama. And pile number one, that could be a huge turnoff for you, especially when guys say to women, well, I don't do drama. And I feel like your eyes start to narrow, pile number one. They really start to narrow, and you're like, because Raven energy is very intelligent. Okay, the Ravenclaws, Harry Potter, very intelligent energy. And it's like your eyes, your beady little eyes start to narrow, pile number one, and you start really looking at this person and you're like, okay, like, you're sexually attracted to me, or you like me, or you think that I'm hot or cool or whatever, but you have this haughtier than thou attitude where you tell other people, well, I don't like drama. Okay. And so I kind of feel that you're kind of narrowing your eyes on this people who talk like that. Cause you're like, that's a huge, huge sign that that person, whenever people say that, that's a huge sign that they're totally drama. Okay. Pile number one, we have on the table, time to put your demands on the table and get serious about what you want to ask. A raise, if you're trying to ask for a raise, a promotion, or a step up. Now, it's interesting because Ygritte, she was this badass female who she was like, ooh, boy, and she was tough on James Stark when she met him in Game of Thrones. She was not easy on him. And she was highly suspicious of him. And she's like, who are you walking in here? Okay. And she was a very, very competent woman in the world of Westeros. Okay. In the Game of Thrones. And I apologize for those of you who are like, what the hell's the Game of Thrones, Natalie? Just go with me. She was a character on a show. Okay. And she definitely had that kind of biting, critical sense of humor, that kind of don't mess with me, I will cut you type of thing. All right. And, you know, the King of Swords, if the King of Swords is kind of playing around or just wanting to have fun or this type of thing, or kind of playing games, you know, if you get the sense that somebody is trying to play games with you, pile number one, I think you're going to have a very strong cold shoulder for them. And it's time to put your demands on the table and get serious about what you want to ask for. Okay, Ace of Wands and the fire element, you know, what do you want to, because the dance could go on forever. The playfulness, the flirtiness, the innuendos, you know, could kind of go on forever, right? But sometimes we just have to get down to brass tacks and be like, okay, what is this? Like, what are we doing here? All right. And adventure. You make exciting moves that could take you outdoors or on a trip. You will need to climb steadily to reach your goals. Yeah, and this is where, you know, we just want to have fun. We want to go where we want to go. We want to do what we want to do, and we don't want to listen to other people tell us, give us their crappy advice, okay? We want the adventure. And we want it now. Thank you very much. Okay. And you're capable. You're prepared to go alone if necessary. Pile number one. All right. You make exciting moves that could take you outdoors or on a trip. All right. And it's time to put on the table what you want. And sometimes people ask for what they want, and then they get it and they're not happy with it. So there's always that. But at the same time, you know, the King of Swords with the fifth house is about being bold enough to ask for what you want. And I also feel ask for what you want in your relationships, ask for what you want sexually, ask for, you know, basically anything's on the table. Open communication, anything's on the table, anything's up for grabs, nothing is too outrageous. State your desires, state what it is that you want. Okay? And some people are feeling in the mood and feeling a little feisty, I hear. Oh, that's funny. I hear. I don't know where that came from. I hear. That might be a rumor, right? Somebody's feeling a little feisty or feeling a little gung-ho about what it is that they want here. Really desiring and burning and wanting for the other person. And we have here spiritual cleansing. Ooh, interesting. And I do feel there could be somebody in your life, pile number one, that's been traveling and they have spent some time alone. And sometimes it seems like this person is a player. Maybe they don't really have feelings. Maybe they just care about getting what they want. Maybe they've recently been on a solo trip, or they've been keeping to themselves recently, or they went off on their own and you haven't heard from them lately. Okay. We see this spiritual cleansing showing up on you. And I do kind of feel like mentally, I feel like you guys have heard things about this or about this person, but I also feel like you're putting your attention elsewhere. We have spiritual cleansing showing up on your side of the road here. We have, I am compassionate. It's your compassion that makes you shine. You're devoted to helping the greater good. Yeah, and you have a talent for speaking up for others. Well, that's very Queen of Swords, and all the queens in the tarot resonate with the energy of water. So regardless of, sometimes the Queen of Swords can look like a real bitch. She can have that real look about her. Like her face can have that resting bitch face kind of thing. But underneath it, she's very, very compassionate, very, very caring. And maybe some of you in this pile, you have a wicked, resting bitch face, but you're actually very, very caring and very, very compassionate. You're not an ice queen. You're not, cold and frosty and mean to others at all. You actually have a huge heart for compassion, and you love helping others, and you have a strong talent for speaking up for others. Okay. And you have a really limited tolerance for bullshit is what I also feel too. With the spiritual cleansing, I feel like you've gotten a lot of bad influences out of your life, a pile number one. And, that it also includes people who act like they're on your level, but all they want to do is play games. Okay. So I also feel that too. You have a really good heart. Some of you here may be a life path number 9. You're a very compassionate soul. But at the same time, I feel like it's time for you to have more fun. It's time for you to enjoy yourself more in life. It's time for you to feel more passion towards the things you want in your life, okay, is what I feel. It's time for you to have, like I think about, in Game of Thrones when Ygritte met the Stark boy, like they were having they were having some crazy, wild, passionate sexual activity, rolling around in the snow together. And we can get easily distracted sometimes rolling around in the snow in that really, really passionate, fiery embrace of desire. Okay. But we can also be concerned that someone's going to bring a lot of drama into our life, or that somebody's just playing around or playing games. We can be very critical about that, especially if we've recently been spiritually cleansing a lot in our own life to kind of move away from that type of energy. Okay. We have Mercury, Pluto. So this is where we're needing to have really, really, really deep conversations and a deep understanding of communication. All right. It's not enough just to be intelligent and, share innuendos with one another and wink at each other, or laugh at the same things that each other are laughing at. There's a need to understand each other on a deeper level and a need to trust each other on a deeper level before being willing to open up communication. And trusting people is to do that is a big step. All right, I feel. And pile number one, I feel you have some very powerful stories that live within you. Maybe some of you need to write creatively here. You need to write and speak about these powerful stories, these buried stories that have been hidden for far too long. Okay? And sometimes we can entertain people with our stories, and that's what people want to hear. They want to be entertained, or they want to laugh or be entertained, but there's actually a much deeper or darker message behind something, right? Or something can seem funny in the moment, but there's actually like a much deeper or darker message behind it all. And I feel like you're very sensitive to that. There may also have to be some plotting and some sort of, I don't want to say like underground plotting, but that's kind of what I'm going to say, underground plotting, or secrets that are kept and held on to for right now at this point. It doesn't mean they can't be shared at some point, but I kind of feel like with this Mercury Pluto, it's like I'm keeping my thoughts to myself, or being kind of secretive, or being suspicious that someone is hiding their thoughts or not being completely transparent with their thoughts, and wanting to get to the truth of that, and thinking that someone is being dramatic or being funny to try to hide something. And oftentimes it's the person who's talking the most and who is being the most dramatic and talking the most who has the most to hide. Really, really. If you're in a group of people and there's someone who's talking the most and trying to command the stage and the attention the most, that's usually the person who has the most to hide. That's a little trick, pile number one, for sure, to think about. But this is where communication becomes very powerful in your hands, in this other person's hands. And there needs to be a real respect of, communication here is very powerful between us, and being able to respect that in one another. So pile number one, that is what I am getting in your message today. Let me know how that resonated, and if you felt a calling to that. I feel the ravens are definitely trying to open you up to like secret knowledge and hidden knowledge as well. Pile number one, I have to tell you that too. Like they really are trying to open you up to secret knowledge and hidden knowledge. So let's go ahead and move into pile number two. Pile number two, welcome to your reading. You chose the Peacock, and today's reading is a pick a bird reading, and we're getting some channeled messages from these beautiful birds today. And I love the gold behind, it looks like a bunch of gold behind this peacock. Wouldn't that be nice, waking up one day and finding, oh wow, look at all this money. And let's see. And peacock is vibrant energy. It's very much about getting noticed and being noticed, but also being humble, being proud of oneself, but also maintaining a humble spirit. So pile number two, let's go ahead and get your message. Not too humble though, not too humble. Pile number two, I feel like peacock spirit is correcting me, like, not too humble. So let's go ahead, just humble enough, right? So let's go ahead for pile number two and get some messages here. We have Seven of Pentacles, the Hermit, wow, And we have the 8 of Wands. Okay, I'm feeling the need to shake up some energy here. And there's a need to do some soul searching around why we have felt so stuck. Okay, and why we have felt so like things are not moving, growing, or changing. We feel kind of unmotivated just because things have been stuck for a long time. And, asking ourselves with higher purpose, with the Hermit, hey, why am I feeling so stuck in my life right now? What is the deeper purpose for this? What am I supposed to be discovering? What am I supposed to be learning about myself? What isn't working for me in my life right now? What is making me feel so like I have cement blocks on the bottom of my feet, and each time I walk, my cement feet are just gathering more and more cement on them. Okay? And why do I feel like my soul is in jail? Why do I feel like my spirit is in prison? Why do I feel stuck? All right. And this deeper soul searching around that energy is really needing to come through in the reading, I feel. And I can see why the Peacock spirit was like, okay, being humble, but not too humble, because the Hermit and the 7 of Pentacles, that could be excessively humble, like excessively questioning, am I good enough? Is this going to work? Having doubts, okay? And, the 7 of Pentacles in readings, sometimes it shows up, like even when I'm doing relationship readings, when somebody's like waiting to get a divorce, but they're just dragging their feet. They're not, it's like, there's no rush behind what they're doing. Things are in limbo. And it's like things are not really manifesting on the material world because there's something about it that they still need to learn in the experience. So they're still kind of like dragging their feet on finishing or wrapping something up. Now, not everyone who watches this is going to be going for a divorce, but is anyone in life, pile number 2, you or anyone around you having an experience where it just feels like you can't wrap up the experience? It just feels like I'm just not wrapping it up here. It's time to kind of wrap. It's a wrap, but for whatever reason, I'm still here in this energy. Okay. And that may be where we're having, like I said, that deeper we're needing to have a deeper connection to our truth. And it hasn't hit us yet. So we're still in it, in the gray days. Okay. And the 8 of Wands is when we're finally free to move forward. It's when we're finally free to burst forth with speed and energy and vigilance. And we're ready to kind of get our energy. Like if you've been feeling very sluggish as well too. And for some of you, it might be something in your diet. Okay, when the pentacles show up, the pentacles have to do with our physicality, our money, our physicality, our routines, what we're doing with ourselves every day. For some of you, it might be diet that's making you feel very sluggish and unmotivated. Okay. With the Hermit, it could be having to do something around nighttime or sleep, not going to bed on time. All right. Not getting enough quality sleep plus nutrition. It could be some things like that going on right now, pile number 2, that are kind of maybe keeping you in a little bit of sluggish energy right now. And I think you know what they are. I think you do. The Hermit is all about purifying and sorting and removing what's broken. And I feel you guys are in a process right now with that. And I feel once that is through, you are going to pick up speed. You're going to be moving faster. Life is going to be moving a lot quicker for you. We have Black Moon Lilith and mystery. And Black Moon Lilith is very mysterious and also very like a bad girl, like a sexually naughty bad girl, and like totally reclaims her femininity and her sexual freedom and power through not listening to the patriarchy and basically looking and feeling however she wants. All right, wearing what you want, being whatever weight you were going to be, not being self-conscious about your clothes or your body or the way that you look. You know, there's some people in this world that exist to make other people feel comfortable, and then there's other people in this world who don't give a fuck about making other people feel comfortable. They exist to rub others the wrong way and make others feel deeply uncomfortable. And, you know, and sometimes like when people are very much in that I don't give an F kind of energy, and they're wearing what they want and they're looking sleazy or scuzzy or naughty, there can be a part of us that gets like, oh, like what is going on or something, or judgy about that, or looks at our own self and feels like plain in comparison to that. Okay. And I kind of feel like this is where the bad girl needs to kind of come out. And there could be something within you that's been very bored. And maybe some of you have been celibate because you do have a raging bad girl or bad boy within you. And you know if you let that freak flag fly, it's going to fly. It's gonna fly. You know what I'm saying? So, but maybe some of you are bored and you're like, yeah, I forgot that I was like a sexual being and that I'm voluptuous or that I'm hot or that I have like some naughty clothes in my wardrobe. Like I forgot and I'm bored. Okay. And it could be that, right? That it's like, okay, I need to connect with the sacred feminine a little more here. And we have solar eclipse and revolution. Yeah. And this could be where your whole concept of who you are and what you are is changing. And, you know, this could be where your identity just feels like, fuck, like, geez, I really, really, really don't feel like myself anymore. I feel frumpy, I feel old, or I feel like, I don't know, like maybe some of you are like, Natalie, I just don't feel sexy anymore. I'm just not feeling it. All right. And maybe there is a huge part of your self-concept and your self-identity that has to do with discovering that kind of inner bad girl or bad boy within. And maybe it's just like, no, that isn't me, or that used to be me in the past, but I feel like I totally lost that part of myself and now I'm this or whatever. Okay. And some of you could truly feel like you did lose a big part of yourself, pile number 2, and I want to hold space for that. Okay, for those of you that feel like part of yourself has been lost and you've been very angry about it. Okay, for some of you, you may have felt that your sexuality, or, you know, there could be abuse too, where it feels like your individual sexuality, like something about that was not honored. in the past, or that was taken advantage of, or that was not honored. And there's sacred feminine rage. There's a lot of stuff about that. And Black Moon Lilith completely like owns that journey of that Lilith energy of rage, of feminine rage. And it can sometimes feel like we lose a piece of our own identity when we have been like bored and kind of separating ourselves from that part of ourselves. Okay. And we have Elise Karstark, the Reconciler. And I'm going to, each pile got a Game of Thrones character or a House of Dragons character, and you guys have Elise Karstark, the Reconciler. And so I'm going to read a little bit about her to you, and we are going to look at her together. She might just be the very ALY. She should be, there she is. If you find yourself caught in a bad situation, whether you put yourself there or someone else did, the best thing you can do right now is make the most of it. Make the necessary apologies, clean up any messes left, and take time to get clear on where you want to be when this is all over. It might be frustrating to sit in the discomfort now. Yeah, Seven of Pentacles for sure. But be patient and trusting that it shall pass, and we'll see you. But being patient and trusting that it shall pass will see you through it. Yeah. And that's with the Hermit, being trusting, being faithful, right? That this is going to pass. This isn't going to, and what's going to emerge from within is going to be a totally new you, is what I feel. Okay. A totally new you. And we have here, money matters. Money matters. Yeah. Under the Seven of Pentacles, money matters a lot now. Watch your expenses and save for the future. You need to be prepared for the unexpected. Yeah, and Black Moon Lilith is a real wild card. And you want to have enough money saved up. Okay, and it could be where you truly felt like somebody was trying to cover up your light or steal your light away from you. And faithfully, your higher self carried that light for you during that. Okay. And I'm just here to tell you, pile number 2, if you ever felt like somebody in your life hurt you so bad and made you so angry so much, and they took your light from you, I feel like your higher self is saying, look at the way the Hermit is holding the light above you. I feel like your higher self is saying, we were guarding that light for you the whole time. Your light is not gone. Who you truly are is still there. We were holding it safe for you. We know it got totally destroyed. Okay. And maybe you guys have been in a big building phase with the Seven of Pentacles, and it's like, this isn't fun. I'm trying to save up to get out of this situation, and it's not fun. But, counting every little last bit of income that gets spent, right? It's not just saving, but it's also in how we spend. And sometimes the little things can get out of control. And in order to get out of that situation, money is a big part of it. I feel here too. Cutting ties. Ooh, yeah. Look at these scissors. You may need to leave your current position and look for something better. Now, this could be you need to leave where you're living. You need to leave a relationship. You may need to leave your job. You may need to leave your current place or position and look for something better. Ending a job doesn't mean burning bridges. Go with grace. Okay. And Go with grace. 8 of Wands. I love that. I love an 8 of Wands. That go with grace is sail on, soldier. Okay. It's not, you know, and with the reconciler here, it's like, you know, making peace before you go, putting the past behind you, moving on, not looking back, go with grace. All right. You don't have to burn bridges. All right. You can just cut those ties and go with grace. And we have knowledge here. Yep. And I want to find her again in the book because I feel like she has to do with that. Yeah, okay, so finding yourself caught in a bad situation where you need to cut ties and there's money involved and you need to, you know, bide your time and wait until trust and have patience that you will see this through. Now, I do feel like part of moving forward onto a new thing is learning something new. And for some of you, this may be certifications, designations. This may be going back to school. This may be reading. This may be a book that you pick up that you're like, I don't know if it's really going to do much. But then you just pick up the book and you start reading it and you're like, whoa, it completely transformed like the way I thought about this situation. And it completely kind of gave myself the ability to move forward after reading this book. I really get it now. And for some of you, you could have a book that's coming that's going to be, the knowledge or the information that you read is going to be like, wow, this is really deep. It's really resonating. And I really feel like it's time. Or some of you could even be learning new skills that are going to help you get out of a bad situation. We have card 22, I am aligned. Yes, you are. And your higher self wants you to know you are aligned to it. It can feel when we're in the 7 of Pentacles, it can feel like, ugh, I'm not aligned. I'm stuck. I'm not moving. I'm not going anywhere. All right. But the Hermit is saying, no, there's a higher purpose to this. You are in possession of incredible creative powers, and it is assured that you can achieve anything you wish. I am aligned. Master number 22. Okay. And part of that is strategy. Okay. With the Hermit, it is strategy. It's material strategy with money. It's also getting really self-honest about what ties need to go in situations where you feel that you can't be yourself and can't be truly who you are, and cutting those ties, and then getting control of the money aspect of it. Okay. And then also certain things are going to find you, I feel, pile number 2, whether that's books, information, you're going to learn that's going to help bring you into alignment even faster. We have Saturn, Neptune. Oh boy, you guys are definitely feeling, we have Saturn, Neptune conjunction right now happening in the sky. And I talked about spiritual maturity. I just did a video. Go ahead and watch it if you like. I just did a whole 40-minute video on the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. And for the first time in 36 years, Saturn and Neptune are meeting in the sign of Aries. And it is a time to align to new directions. Okay? And it's important to be careful what we're committing to, but it's also important to allow ourselves to dream as well. Okay? And you know, learning about this Saturn, Neptune, some of you could have planets in Aries, you could have planets in Cancer, Capricorn, Libra, or Aries, where you're really feeling this Saturn-Neptune conjunction. All right, but everybody's feeling it. It doesn't matter if you have planets there or not. the Aries house in your chart is going to be feeling the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, okay? And this is a huge moment right now where you are going to be aligned to the next phase, I feel. Pile number 2, all right? And whoever you need to meet, where all the synchronicities that need to happen to get you from the phase that you've been in to the next phase are gonna start picking up speed. 8 of Wands, okay? So that is what I feel for you, pile number 2. Peacock's really coming through with the message of vibrancy and remembering who you are with the solar eclipse here and the blocking out of the sun. The peacocks are telling you, remember who you are. If anybody ever tried to take that away from you, your soul kept that safe for you and it will return. So pile number 2, that is what I am getting for you, my friends. I wish you the very best and take care. Let's move on to pile number 3. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose the Hawk, and today's reading is a pick a bird reading. We're getting some channeled messages from the Hawk Spirit today for you. Let's drop in pile number 3 to the energy and find out what messages are coming through for you on this beautiful rainy evening. It's a witchy, rainy evening. Pile number 3. We have 7 of Cups, 10 of Wands, and the Sun. Oh, wow. I love the sun is so cute. You can't help but smile when you look at it. You're like, aw. And yeah, it's truly joyful with the sun. All right. And I mean, here's where I feel winter's been tough for you guys. Now, for my Southern Hemisphere people watching the video, you can just switch it around. But I feel these winter months have been tough. You know, when we don't know where to put our priorities, things feel extra hard and exhausting. When we don't know how to prioritize things properly, because we have so much like that we could do or that we should do, it's very, very hard to focus on our priorities and eliminate distractions. But I actually feel, and the 10 of Wands can be where we really, you know, it's time, like we pedal to the metal. We have to eliminate distractions and just focus. There's a lot to get done. And the 7 of Cups can be where we're dreaming of a million different things and we're fantasizing and we're kind of lost in our heads and we're having vivid, wild dreams, or we're daydreaming a lot, or we're having a lot of different priorities and we're not really, it's kind of in a little bit of a foggy OCD. Why did I say OCD? It could be obsessive. It's a Venus and Scorpio card, but kind of obsessing about a lot of different things or maybe different people. It could be an ADD, OCD type of card where we're kind of obsessing about different things that we want and we're daydreaming about them instead of, and we can waste a lot of time procrastinating in that emotional space of, you know, wanting and obsessing. And then sometimes we forget to do like the daily things and they just start piling up and piling up and piling up. And then all of a sudden we look at our schedule and our schedule's completely full. And it's like, you know, how did it get to this point? And, you know, so I kind of feel some of you have been in that energy a little bit. But pile number 3, I have good news. I feel like Someone's going to come see you, and I feel it's very, very happy. Now, this could be a friend. This could be a lover. This could be, you know, like a, for those of you that are like aunts or uncles, or you have like a favorite child in your family and they're coming to visit you, or you're seeing them for the first time, or you're going to spend time with them, and it's like, oh my God, it's so good to see you. Or like a best friend that you haven't seen for a long time. I don't know. I just feel with this sun, there's a meeting with somebody, and it's a happy meeting, and it's not complicated. It's not foggy. It's not like fantasy. It's not where you end up ignoring everything else in your life, and so now you're kind of stuck doing the hard stuff on your own. I feel like this sun is kind of like, oh my God, it's so good to see you. Wow. Wow. You know, like that type of energy, and being present in the moment, and being joyful and present in the moment with the people that we love. Instead of like daydreaming about the moment and then getting so far behind on everything, it's like actually being in the moment with that person. And it's like very, very rewarding and exciting and fun. And yeah, so, and I feel springtime is going to be much better for you guys, or even summertime, I feel, is going to be like much better. Okay. If the winter was really, really tough, I feel like, ooh, you know, as the sun grows stronger, I feel like you're going to be feeling better, is what I feel. Okay. And the sun is a great omen of vitality as well. And we have Gemini and think. Yeah. Like I said, ADD, OCD, mind is all over the place. Obsessive thoughts about everything under the sun. And should I pick this? Should I pick that? I'm having such a hard time deciding. Oops, I forgot to pick up the laundry, you know, pick up the dry cleaning. Oops, I forgot to, you know, go get the groceries. Oops, I forgot to pick up the whatever, you know, and it's like, and now all the errands, it's like errand after errand after errand, busy, 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 taking people this place, that place, go here, go there, appointment, right? And Gemini is that very much like that going around to everywhere kind of energy. And it's like, I don't even know what to do first. And sometimes we can be like driving around or just going around or walking around, and we can kind of be like so in our heads that we don't even really notice where we're at. And we don't even like have any, like we get all the way home and we have no memory of the entire drive because we're just so in our heads, or we're so in the fantasy. And yeah, and so I definitely feel your guys' minds have been kind of like all over the place a little bit, pile number 3, and that's okay. No shame, no shade. And it's been really hard to figure out what you want. And so it's resulted in waiting to the last minute for a lot of things. And then everything becomes due at the same time. And yeah, and sometimes it can be very stressful, like preparing for someone to visit you as well, or preparing to go to visit someone else. Although I feel someone coming towards you, pile number 3 is what I feel. I feel someone coming to visit you or showing up in your world is what I feel more than anything. All right. And we have Virgo, and I analyze, of course, right? Of course. And Gemini and Virgo energy showing up in your reading. Oh, man. Oh, getting so in your head, picking apart every little thing. You know, and maybe you guys are like, you know what, at the end of the day, Natalie, I do pull it off. Yeah, I struggle, and yeah, it sucks. But I mean, crazily, I can pull off 100 things at one time. And I shock myself sometimes with how much I can actually pull off, and good for you. Good for you. I feel like Hawk Spirit is like, woo, that is some stuff right there. Okay. But you know, you have a bright, it's so funny on this Hawk message, it says you have a bright future. All right. And that's the sun. You have a bright future. Of course you do. And let yourself ascend to new heights. Okay. And I feel like you can kind of mentally relax more and enjoy more if you're not constantly in this time crunch or this multitasking time crunch all the time. Okay. And some of you could be obsessively thinking about someone, and maybe there's a hypercritical part of yourself that's being really hypercritical against your own self, where you're like, I don't really have time to sit here thinking about obsessing about these things. I really need to get after it, you know? And maybe sometimes there can be like a lot of critical energy towards yourself, or a lot of self-criticism towards yourself sometimes, pile number 3. Okay. And, or a lot of worry, a lot of, you know, needless worry, like, oh my God, this is going to be like so bad, and I don't even know what to start twice, and this is just so overwhelming. Okay. And I feel like Hawk Spirit is coming through with the message of being lighter. Okay. Being lighter, being freer, and being lighter. And we have Ascension Hightower, the friend. Oh my God, that's so funny. And I was just talking about someone coming to see you. Some of you could have a friend coming to see you. Okay. Every single pile got a Game of Thrones or House of Dragon card, and yours is Ascension Hightower. Okay, and I'm going to read hers. Friendships, especially good ones, don't happen overnight. They're made and remade over and over again through hard work, trust, and honesty. If this card has appeared to you, it might be time to check in on your friendships and see if you have been upholding your side of the relationship. Are you keeping secrets or telling half-truths? Yeah, and that could be 7 of Cups and Gemini energy for sure. You know, sometimes there can be like, you know, this could be a gossiping. I'm not saying you're gossiping, pile number 3, but there can be a gossiping side to Gemini with the 7 of Cups, or like telling secrets or telling someone else's secret. Okay. And maybe some of you had a friend who shared a secret and you were like, I can't believe they did that. It made everything so much harder for me. It really sucked. I was really mad. Okay. I do feel like there's somebody coming back with, you know, that's so happy to actually see you. But they're coming back with, I feel a little reserved about talking about some of this old stuff over here. They're happy to see you, but they're like reserved about talking about this stuff. Okay. And are you keeping secrets or telling half-truths? Maybe you've just been a bit careless in ways you don't even realize. Check in on your friendships and see if there's anything you need to do to shore them up. Okay, and maybe maybe a friendship has been a bit careless for you. Okay. And yeah, there could definitely be an energy of like, telling I feel the person did it like in a confused way, or like said something they shouldn't have said, but it was kind of like came from a place of confusion or like not knowing what to do. And I feel like the other person is like, no, like you did that on purpose. and you know, this type of stuff, pile number 3, okay? So there could be something like that, like some very critical energy towards another person, but another person who just said things in a way that sounded, you know, revealed a secret or revealed said something that they shouldn't have said, okay? I feel like there's a person that shows up to you with open arms and is very, very happy to see you. And there is something about your friendships here. And this could involve Gemini and a Virgo, or you could be a Gemini or a Virgo or have that in your chart heavily, okay? We have renewal. You need to take time to recharge your energy to get back on track. Challenges ahead require you to have faith and break through. Yeah, so finding new ways to get things done efficiently and finding new resources and new ways to get things done. And after all this kind of heaviness on you, on your shoulders, you do need time to recharge to get your energy back on track. I feel as well here. We have authority. Oh my gosh, it's so interesting. She looks exactly like the Targaryen girl who was best friends with Alicent Hightower. And she's wearing the crown. And then Alicent Hightower becomes the queen, but she's wearing the crown. How interesting. And this could be clashes with a boss or a challenge to your power will compel you to respond. Choose peaceful solutions if you can. Okay, so there is some kind of clash, but and this could be between you and a friend, or there was a clash in the past, pile number 3. All right, and I do feel like there's a lot of warmth still between you both that's actually there. There's just a little bit of worry, I feel, coming from both of you about talking again, is what I feel. But there's also a good chance of renewal. And for some of you, that may come in the springtime or the summertime coming up, okay? And we have home. Exactly. Someone's coming to your home. Okay. Something is brightening up your home. A messenger is coming to your home. Something is coming to visit you in your home, in your space. And, you know, there's a sense of welcoming somebody with open arms. Okay. And a sense of feeling at home with another person. It's like no time passed. It's like we see each other and we instantly feel this instant happiness and joy when we see each other, and we instantly feel this connection that reminds us of home. Okay? And this could, for some of you, this could be a family, this could be an event in the summertime with family where you see a friend that you haven't seen in a very long time, and it's like, wow, things have really grown or things have really changed. I do feel that somebody could have a child as well, and somebody comes to your home with their child, and for some of you, this could also be a sister or brother that comes, I feel a sister though, that comes home with their child. But this could be somebody who kind of acts like the older one or kind of tries to take authority over the other one. And I feel like there's some argument about this in the past, because it's like, I'm not going to kind of listen to that. I'm not going to really listen to that, to what you're saying. I know how I feel about something. Anyway, I'm picking up on a situation It says, I am centered. Yeah, and the sun is the center of the universe, okay? So, I mean, there's nothing more centered than the sun, actually. And regardless of whatever comes your way, you're centered. Pile number 3, you're not going to let anything throw you out of your center, okay? This is card 666. Interesting. All right, mark of the beast, pile number 3. A wake-up call for you to re-examine your current situation and change the direction of your thoughts so you can raise your vibration to a more positive frequency. I am centered. And that could be like if you've been very worried or you've been very obsessive about something, and or like if there's, you know, a power struggle between you and a person and a friend or a family member or a sibling with a child or anything like that. And this person just has a way of throwing you out of your center. I feel like you love this person, you do love each other, but it's like, okay, you are centered. My poor baby. It's okay, Franny. And then we have Uranus and Pluto at the very end here. Okay. And this can be about, you know, rebelling against authority. We have this authority card here. Clashes with a boss or a challenge to your power. Pluto is power. Okay. Uranus can be clashes with authority. So there can definitely be some clashes with this. And we want to try to choose peaceful solutions if we can, and we want to try to stay as centered as possible. And I am going to go take care of my dog. That is my cue to get to jump off of the video. But pile number 3, thank you so much for being here, my friends. I wish you the very best, and I hope that reading resonated with you. Take care now.